Peace, everybody. What's good? It's our boy, Coach Malachi Williams, and you are now tuned to the True Media Podcast. Let's go. I got to give my main man, Slick Rick Glazer, the one they love to hate the most, a round of applause. Let's give Rick Glazer a round of applause. Slick Rick, what's going on, baby boy?
It's all about you today. That's why I'm here.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, man. I really do, man. You make me feel like a superstar right now, Rick.
Well, you're heading in that direction. You're trending positively. How's that?
Hey, Rick, listen, man. I called you here, man, because I wanted a little bit more insight. You got a little bit more insight on things that I do, and I talk to a lot of people. But from what you're hearing, what's going on with Crawford and Canelo, about these rumors that there's a deal in place for September of this year. Is there any validity to that?
Well, they are in talks. They're in deep discussions. It's going in a positive direction, but nobody has signed anything yet. But it would be in September. It would be in Las Vegas, and it would be they can both take interim fights up until I think it's May 15th. I think is going to be the last date, and it's what I'm told. They're rip roaring, ready to go. I think they're going to be able to get this together.
You say that's what you're told. Told by who? Can you give some insight into that, or you can't?
I can't mention names, but people that are from London, from the Middle East, and in one source of the United States.
Okay, so you talked to people in London, you spoke to people in the Middle East. All right, cool. All right, I'm getting a couple of people in the United States. All right, okay, all right. I can go for that. It seemed like that. What is it about Turkey Al-Sheikh that you got a lot of people that like this guy, but who works with him? I haven't heard anything bad about him from a business standpoint. I hear the fighters love him. They say great things about him. The promoters love him. They say great things about him. Why is that?
Well, he's a man of his word. He's ponying up money for fights that we've never been able to make before. We tried for years to make certain fights, Bivol and Baturbiev, Usyk and Fury, and we've tried to make these fights. We were never able to make them, and he put up the money for these fights, and that's big. Then, it's just not about fights. He went out and bought Ring Magazine. He paid millions and millions of dollars from Oscar De La Hoya for Ring Magazine. Now he's building up that. Then he paid billions for 13% of the zone, and he has a right to buy more stock in the zone than that. He has rights in his deal to buy more stock. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's, he's doing what he says he was going to do. You can't argue with that. It's indisputable.
Yeah. Now we see he bad for boxing, and we don't like him. What is it? Okay, so you're saying all these good things. He's and what you're saying is phenomenal. The detractors, the people who don't like him. Why do you feel that there's some type of
he's made Al Heyman and PBC passé. I wrote about it today on Twitter. I said PBC is now passé. This guy's doing pay-per-views for $19.95 to $29.95 on most of his shows, and Al Heyman's still charging $79.95. I mean, them days are gone.
Especially in the streaming era. Steve, I'm talking about Steve. Rick, I was speaking to Steve Kim, but I'll tell you about that conversation. It appears that. So what's going on with Amazon? Do you foresee Amazon being a major player from a financial standpoint in boxing?
No, no, they've never come up with a dime yet. It's all we've had this discussion. I've had it at many networks. They don't even come up with production costs. The only thing they do is the only thing they do is free advertising on their site, on their Amazon site. They don't do anything else. I mean, it's not a. It was never a good deal. It was a deal done in desperation when Heyman lost Showtime, when they went out of the boxing business,
Yeah.
and it was a deal done out of desperation. And when you do a deal out of desperation, you make a bad deal, and he made a bad deal.
Well, some would say that well, Al Heyman is a genius, man. So some would say that he's got a he's doing a Machiavellian move that you don't know. So, I was
Those days are long gone. His reputation in the TV and streaming world is mud. Nobody's
I'm
coming up with any money for this man, so it's all bullshit that they're saying.
is that why these fights that we've been seeing, like the press conferences, like I looked at a couple of the press conferences
They they
last
they
year,
they they
they
they,
didn't.
they look like they're for an amateur fight. I mean, they're serving the people Kool-Aid and fucking and oatmeal cookies, for Christ's sake.
What you talking about? What they gave the media?
Yeah, when they gave the media, yeah,
Um,
them days are over
do
for
you
PBC.
foresee do you foresee the PBC pretty much working with the zone at some point, or working with Turk Al-Sheikh at some point?
I
I'm
don't
talking about
know.
as a company.
I don't know. I don't. I think that ship has sailed. I don't see anything that they have that would be interesting. What do they have that would be interesting? Nothing.
Well, they
Tell me
got
something. Tell me something that they got that's interesting.
they have Tank.
No, they take won't fight anybody. Well, how interesting is that? Nothing.
They have Errol Spence.
Come on, you didn't just say that, did you?
They
Earl
have the
Spence.
Charlo. They have the Charlo brothers.
They haven't fought in years. When's Charlo's fought? One hasn't fought in over a year. One hasn't fought in way over a year.
They got
They're not
they got
attractions.
they got Frank the Ghost Martin.
Not an attraction. They got Tank and he won't fight anybody.
Hmm. Yeah, I got it. Listen, they got my main man Caleb Plant over there though. They got Caleb Plant. So
Okay, big
you
deal.
get
He's
David
talking about
Benavidez.
he's like
They got David
33.
Morrell.
Okay, that one of them's going to eliminate the other one, and David Benavidez has never been a pay-per-view attraction.
Yeah. Well, do
They
you?
don't have
Oh,
anything. They don't have anything. There's nothing there viable.
you know
What do they
what?
got?
Yeah, I'm trying to come on, Rick, and you putting pressure. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to rebut what you're saying,
Well,
but
I'm gonna do your thinking for you, champ. There's nothing. They got nothing.
they got Booker Ray Leonard. They got Roland. They got somebody in the chat said they got Roland Romero. Roland Romero got to be. They got Big Rolo now.
Yeah, come on.
You know,
These fighters mean nothing. Tur-
Rolly's a star.
no,
That gotta count for something.
Rolly's one punch away from getting extinguished. He already got extinguished at one punch with Pitbull Cruz. I mean, he's done. These
Yeah,
guys are there's nothing there.
yeah, Rolly, man. God damn, boy. And I'm trying to argue it, but when I think of, you know, because some of these guys are not fighting. The Charlo's not fighting. I mean, Jamal Charlo, I don't know. I think he in rehab still. Jamel
What
Charlo.
about Earl the Pearl Spence hasn't fought in a year and a half. Last time we saw him, he was bouncing off the canvas 3-4 times with Crawford.
Yeah, but Errol's supposed to come back this. Well, we're hearing that he's supposed to come back against Fundora. Is there a date on that yet? Or
I
they just
haven't
still?
heard a date, and if there is let's see if they get there. Let's see if Spence gets in the ring. When you're that old and you're that inactive, you come up with injuries. You get
Yeah,
injured
man.
easy in training.
I ain't gonna lie, man. If I definitely want.
PBC PBC is the Skid Row of boxing promoters.
But they used to be the creme de la creme back in the day, man. Like like they was you give them 10 years ago when they first started. I mean, they was the creme de la creme, and we finally got the Crawford and Spence fight. Thanks to Spence. And what seemed like when Showtime left, then I don't know, man. I'm hoping I'm hoping they bounce back. Somebody got to throw a dog a bone. I think they're gonna have to try to do a partnership or try to you're gonna have to go to the zone because everybody else over there, everybody else working with Turk Al-Sheikh. So that's where the money at. Has the money dried up in America for boxing? In your opinion?
No, no, just getting redistributed. That's all.
Redistributed where?
In other words, the fights are getting bigger and they're all over the world now. In other
Yeah.
words, boxing's a global sport, and they're
Mm-hmm.
in Riyadh, they're in London, they're in the United States, they're all over the place. They're in Japan with the Nui. So boxing just gotten bigger worldwide. The popularity of boxing worldwide is off the charts. In the United States, it's gone down, but it's not. It doesn't mean it's totally bad, but it's just not what it was. It's so universal now.
Yeah, boxing is a global sport, but us Americans, we are so, us Americans, we are so, if it's not over here, it ain't
Yeah, we're out of
popping.
touch. Yeah, we're out of touch. I
We're out of
agree.
touch.
America's
Americans are
out
out of
of touch.
touch.
Yep,
Yeah,
America's out of touch. Absolutely.
because when I talk to a lot of American boxing fans, like right here in my city, all of them, oh man, what's going on in the sport? Who's supposed to be fighting next? They don't really keep up with it. When Tate's supposed to be fighting? That's about all they know. And it's like, well, boxing dead. We don't have any heavyweights. Well, we got Wilder, but that's kind of like Wilder don't have his peak and fell. So it's like, bro, we don't even have any like heavyweights. I can't, bro, can't believe it, fam. Like, I never would have thought that over here in America, we would have fell off this bad to where we don't have any heavyweights. We had one. We had Wilder. We had Trevor. What's the new name? Trevor Bryant. What's the new name? Trevor.
Trevor Bryant.
Trevor
Trevor
Bryant.
Bryant.
Trevor.
Bryant. No, Bryant.
Didn't
No two.
nobody represent for Trevor Bryant? He was when Wilder got beat by Tyson Fury. Trevor Bryant was the WBA regular heavyweight champion. Nobody represented for him.
Right. Hey, this is it's just, they're not. Nobody's paying attention. Just the media is not paying attention to unless they're the biggest names like Canelo and Tank and Crawford and these kind of guys. They're just not paying attention in the United States unless they're those guys right there. It's just the way it is.
Someone like a Canelo seems to be like an ambassador of the sport. Were you shocked? Were you shocked to see Canelo over in London talking to Turk Al-Sheikh?
No, I just said no. It took them so long
Yeah.
to meet Turkey Al-Sheikh.
I think when he was over there, when he did the one fight, when he was on his last fight at the PBC, I see a lot of Canelo, not fans, because I don't want to disrespect the fans, but I'm talking about, every boxer, most the popular boxers, Rick, they have a male groupie element to them. So you got fans and then you got the male groupies. I don't even want to. They pass fanboys. This is male groupies, and it's kind of like Rick, you've been around long enough. You remember Michael Jackson in the 80s. You remember how popular Michael Jackson was. People was fainting and falling out at the sight of Michael Jackson. So a lot of these guys, the
In the
male.
'60s was Elvis Presley. In the '70s it was Mick Jagger. In the '80s it was Michael Jackson.
Yeah, facts. But it seemed like that. It seemed like over here, these guys, it's like they always complaining. They always mad. Like Canelo was doing business, to your knowledge. Do these fighters who are millionaires, when they make business decisions, do they take what people say in comment sections on the YouTube videos or posts on
No,
Twitter
no,
into
no,
consideration? They don't?
no. They listen to their people around them that they pay. If they ain't paying you, they ain't listening to you.
So if I'm a pro Canelo and I hate Terrence Crawford, do Canelo listen to those guys and say you don't need
No,
to fight
no,
fight Crawford to give him a payday? Do he listen to them?
nope. He listens to people that he's paying.
Hmm.
That's why he's paying them.
I was under the impression the way these mofos be talking online. I was under the impression that goddamn it that he taking advice from them. All right, so we debunked that.
Maybe Al Heyman took their advice.
Al, man, look here, man. You ain't be talking about Al. We represent for Al Heyman every day over here. This is a pro Al Heyman channel. I just need you to know that. So you got to get
Okay.
on. You got to get on code, Rick.
Well,
We team out Heyman over here.
my condolences to you. That ship is sinking. That ship is sinking.
I'm going down with the Titanic then. If Love and Al is wrong, I don't want to be right. If the ship's sinking, Rick, I'm going down like with the Titanic.
Somebody said that somebody said they have a couple fights planned for March and April and May, and I said, well, that's great. I said that's like rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic.
Rick, what's up, Rick? Do you want to take some phone calls, Rick? Because the people want to talk to you.
Absolutely, I'll take phone calls.
Hey,
Only
look here,
because
man.
it's your show.
All right, look here, man. Phone lines open. 530-494-9636. It's strolling at the bottom of the screen. Anybody got some questions or for Rick Glazer, call the show. We're waiting on you.
And I'm taking compliments today only.
Yeah, he say he's taking compliments on today only. Now, you know what I mean? So y'all go ahead and do that there. Anybody want to call the show, y'all call into the show and and talk to Rick Glazer. Rick, man, I like what I'm seeing. I like what I'm seeing in boxing right now. I'm not even gonna lie. It seems like it's changing. It's shifting. How do you feel about that? Like you said, it's more spread out. It's more.
I like it. It's more spread out. I mean, huge fights in Japan, huge fights in Riyadh, huge fights in London. They're huge fight, and and the United States gets their fair share, and it's more spread out now. That's all there is to it. Boxing's not becoming a niche sport. Boxing just becoming more global.
Right.
And that's what people aren't getting.
Yeah, boxing is becoming more global. We don't have a monopoly on it anymore. Yeah, I totally agree that, and the competition has gotten better globally as well. They got better.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. Right. No question about it.
All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Martin from Oakland.
Martin from Oaktown. Talk to me, brother.
Yeah, Coach. My question for Rick is, how do buyouts for fighters work? Do all fighters have a buyout clause in their deals? Kind of like the whole situation where Tio is claiming he wants to buy out his deal. And how much are those typically?
No, there's no buyouts in any deals. So you have to negotiate that deal independently of the contract. So it's not in the contract, but what's his name? Bob Arum sold off Floyd for $750,000, but that was almost 20 years ago. That was almost 20 years ago. So things do change. You know what I mean? But I don't think T.O.'s getting sold too fast because T.O.'s a headache, and nobody's going to be looking to put money up for T.O. to get him to buy Top Rank out. That's like purchasing aggravation.
Yeah, I hear it. Thank you, Rick.
All right, salute, man. Shout out to Martin, man. Oaktown. Yeah, Rick. Yeah, T.O. T.O. trying to go to T.O. He fight. I guess he fighting on several fronts. He's turning down fights. But I love what Canelo. I love what Canelo, Crawford, are doing. Let me ask you this, Rick. Because if you listen to a lot of these guys on X and stuff like that, you would think that their hatred of Crawford or Canelo or whatever that reflects how Crawford and Canelo feels. Do you know anything about Crawford and Canelo hating each other?
I don't think they hate each other. I would think there'd be more respect than anything else between them because they're as good as both of them are, and they're as accomplished as they are. So where would the hate be? They're not. They weren't never in the same weight class, at the same time. And Crawford just got to 54. The other guy hadn't been in 54 in many, many years. And there's no hate. They just the best should fight the best, and they're the best, and they should fight each other. And it's to be the most amount of money available for any fight right now going forward that I know of.
What's the have you hold on, we got another call calling in. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Jamie from New York.
Jamie, talk to me.
Coach, how are you, man? Blake, what's up?
Not much. How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Good.
I'm good, man. I'm good, brother. Yes, sir. Coach, I hope it's true. I hope Bud lands this fight. I'm happy for him. I feel that Bud needs this, to solidify his legacy. So here's my question for Mr. Rick. Rick, if this fight takes place, how do you see the fight? Who wins?
Crawford wins a decision.
Thank you. That's all I need to hear. Salud, brother. Respect.
Okay, thank you.
Rick, why you say Crawford by decision?
I listed the reasons on Twitter. He's just got too many advantages. Okay, I mean, he's left-handed. That's a big advantage. He's faster. Canelo's short for the weight class. He's only 5'7". What's his name is inch and a half taller. Crawford. He's more agile and nimble on his feet. Faster-handed, and the only two advantages and he's got better endurance. The only two advantages that what's his name has is strength and power. And Crawford, you'll utilize a lot of that strength advantage because of the fact his balance is so good, and he won't stand right in front of him and let him use his strength. And the power, who's he? As far as power goes, who's he knocked out? Except 4 years ago, he knocked out Caleb Plant. You know, I mean, who's he knocked out? He's gone the distance in like 6 straight fights. Come on, you know, Canelo. You know, and Crawford, he's deadly. You know, he's a really good knocker, he's a good puncher, very accurate. And I don't think he knocks him out, Crawford, but he wins a decision for me. That's what I like, a decision by Crawford.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Man, Coach, what's going on, man? It's Casino Life Prayers, man.
Casino, ATL, talk to me.
What's going on? What's going on, man? What's going on, Rick?
Not bad. Welcome aboard from Atlanta.
Yes, sir, man. I got a question for y'all because you know what I'm saying. Y'all had an opportunity. I'm 32 years old. You know what I'm saying. I ain't had no opportunity to see this so-called golden age of boxing that everybody, you know, around y'all age.
Well, you can go see it. All you do is got to go on YouTube and you'll see it. It's all there.
Well, I can see it, but I ain't gonna feel it. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't there, so I ain't gonna feel it. You see me?
Okay, right.
Basically, what I'm saying is, do you think that what Turkey Al-Sheikh is doing with boxing will give me an opportunity to be so that when I become an older man, I can brag about my era?
Absolutely. That's what it looks like to me. I mean, just like I said, he just made some fights that we couldn't make before. But Turbiev and Bivol, now the rematch, two Usyk Tyson Fury fights. The list goes on and on. He's made a whole bunch of fights we hadn't been able to see yet before. You know, they were trying to make them. They could never get the fighters have priced themselves out. Now with the additional revenues provided by Turkey Al-Sheikh, these fights are very possible and they're getting made. So, and the cards are deeper. Not only does he give you a great main event and a great co-feature, he's giving you great fights all the way down the card, right or wrong.
You're right.
Well, there's your answer.
One more question. Yep. I just wanted to see what y'all thought. You know what I mean? I felt like that anyway, but I wanted to see what y'all thought. You know what I'm saying? But also, have you heard about this tournament that's supposed to have like 100 and something?
Yeah, I've heard about it. It's in the working it out stage right now, but it's a little premature. It's a little premature. Let me ask you a question. You know the restaurant nightclub in ATL called the Spaceman?
Yeah.
You know where it is? The Spaceman. Spaceman in the Hyatt Centric Hotel. Highly recommended. Take a woman up there.
That's a little. I ain't gonna lie, Rick. That's a little too bougie for me. That's a little too bougie. I ain't never partied in no Hyatt. You know what I'm saying? I need to go get me a suit so I can pull up to that. You know what I'm saying? I need to go check that out.
No. I wore jeans. No. I wore jeans. Go there. If you take a good looking woman there, you'll get lucky. Just don't take no heifer there.
No, I ain't gonna take nobody. Listen, but when you come to Atlanta, man, I want you to pull up to Club Lakura on Metropolitan. They got shakeout Sundays on Sunday. You see what I'm saying? You get the strippers, but they ain't strippers. You see what I'm saying? They just girls from the hood. You need to pull up to that, Rick. I'm telling you, they gonna love you. They gonna see when they see you, they gonna see green, bro.
I got my own woman from the hood already.
Oh, for sure. I know. I see how you coming. She might be listening. I feel you. Hit me on the phone, and
Okay.
Salute, coach.
Oh, that's funny.
Salute
That's
everybody.
funny.
All
All
right.
right, salute, fam. Shout out to Cino. Yeah, Rick. Yeah. He trying to get you to come to the club. So to get get some of that strip club action in Atlanta. That's past your prime there, Rick. What you about? You 65 now?
I'll be 67 in coming up here in April. I'll be 67. I'm not a young chicken, I'm not a young guy anymore, but I can handle myself with the women still.
I don't know, Rick. You kind of too old to be tricking. I ain't hating, but it's kind of too late. You're too old to be tricking at 67.
I'll be tricking them.
Rick, I see Rick tricking in the ATL. Hey, you know what? That should be a movie. Rick tricking in the ATL. Oh, goddamn, Rick Glazer. Goddamn. Hey, Rick, check it out, man. So, damn, bro, I was looking at, they pocket watching Tuesdays. I was looking at the Canelo net worth. That man got a net worth of $275 million from what Celebrity Net Worth say. That's a lot of money, man.
He's made a lot of money.
God damn. And then I'm seeing Turkey Al-Sheikh, let's say he got a net worth of like $3 billion, right? $2.5 billion, something like that.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, does it?
No, but the day pocket watching Tuesdays, Rick, and see what the people like to do. The people like to talk about the money that fighters have.
No, because here's why it doesn't matter. Turkey Al-Sheikh is not using his own funds; they're country funds. And I know. This country is Saudi Arabia. They're putting up the money. He may be worth $3 million. I'm not disputing his wealth. Don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying to you, it's not his own money. Billion, right? I'm not questioning his wealth. I'm saying to you that he's not using his own money; he's using the country's, and that's great. And the country keeps printing more money. They don't have to call up White Al Reed and ask for 500 million, and we need a transfusion and everything else. Yeah. They just call up the printing press and say, "Roll a few billion more up there."
Damn, they got that oil. They got that oil money, but it's kind of hard to compete with that. It's kind of hard to compete with that. You got a whole country.
Right. That's why that's why I wrote today on Twitter that Al Heyman, PBC, I didn't mention Al Heyman, but PBC is passe between their high pay-per-view prices compared to this, and they can't pay the fighters like these guys are paying the fighters. It's passe. It's over.
Damn. Yeah, you can't compete with that.
Where are the more questions? We got to have more questions. Where are the questions? Where are the questions?
Oh, y'all, what's up? Hold on. Y'all got any questions in the chat? Y'all drop the questions in the chat, man. So hopefully we can get it. Y'all got to at me though. If you want to get my attention, you got to send it with a super chat though. If you send it with a super chat, I'll probably be able to see it. Right now, we got over 800 people watching this show, Rick. I'll say this here. The question I have is this here. Canelo is a free agent. He moves pretty much, I guess, on a fight by fight basis or whatever. Do you think that's the model that every fighter should employ, or that only certain fighters who have a certain status should employ that?
Right. Only certain fight. Crawford can do that. He can do that. Certain fighters can do that. A lot of them can't. That's absolutely true.
So if Turkey Al-Sheikh don't never come in the game, we never would have been able to get Dimitri Bivol versus Beterbiev twice for the second time, the rematch. We got it last year. I remember a time when that fight was trying to be made. We hearing that they were trying to make that fight happen.
For several years, 3-4 years.
But the WBC, I remember Mauricio Suleiman said that we're not going to sanction the fight because of what's going on with Russia and Ukraine.
That was for about 3 weeks.
Hey, so when Turkey Al-Sheikh came in, he forgot all about that the Russia and Ukraine war, because that war still going on. I see he ain't saying that about it.
He forgot all about it, trust me.
Shout out to Posse Magic, dropping that quarter of a dub. He said, Bud by split. Only advantage Canelo has is the experience and endurance with that weight.
I don't know about experience. Crawford's as experienced as they come. So,
but Canelo, he's saying that because Canelo had more fights though. Canelo had like 60 something fights.
That doesn't mean he's got more experience. That means he's got more wear and tear.
Yeah, I know. I never looked at it that way. Damn. Damn, Rick. So was this the plan? Was this a master plan in your opinion? What's going on? Like, it seems that how was the Saudi Arabia, the country, and Turkey Al-Sheikh is the face of the country when it comes to the boxing, right? So how was this the plan of the kingdom all along? To like, when did this come about? Because you've been in boxing a long time.
Nobody really knows what really happened, but they wanted to get into boxing, and they got in a big way. And Turkey Al-Sheikh loves boxing. He admires fighters. He admires some of the promoters, and he loves the sport. He's excited about it, and he's putting his money where he's not just making fights. He bought the Ring magazine for a lot of money. I mean, not too much, but he laid out a lot of money is what I mean. It was worth a lot of money. Okay. Just the name in itself. And then he went and bought 13% of a company that was valued at 30 billion, which is the Zone. So 13%, that's about almost a little less than $4 billion.
$4 billion, $4.5 billion, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, right? Yeah. So you're talking about a guy that's putting his money where his mouth is, and he's got rights to buy more stock in the Zone, and he's doing it all the way around. He's pumping up Ring magazine, he's pumping up the Zone, he's doing all this good shit. And I have nothing but respect for the guy. I like what he's doing. I like what he says. I like he's a man of his word. He's a man of action. You can't beat that.
It appears that the Saudis are playing chess. I'm saying when it comes to the sport, what they're doing strategically, buying percentages of the Zone, controlling the boxing division, 100% of the boxing division, getting all of the content, getting all of the promoters.
I don't think I think they're playing chess. Don't get me wrong, but I think they're playing chess in a checkers game. What I think.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. That's good.
Shout out to Boxing Police. He say Turkey was tired of the politics like Floyd and Manny. Okay. Thank you, fam. Shout out to Candy Slim. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a dub. He say, what are Rick's thoughts on Vada, USADA, Ryan Garcia positive test, Victor Conte, and Snack?
Well, there was no positive test since way back when, last April. I mean, there's been nothing recently. There was a rumor going on he failed the test. He was not even being tested. So I don't really have an opinion. I just think that everybody needs to get their shit together. I think that the drug thing is all wrong. I think it's all fucked up. Excuse me for using that word, if there's any nice ladies out there. But it's all screwed up. They do it all wrong. And a lot of fighters that are clean.
Hold on. Go ahead, Rick.
A lot of fighters that are clean don't want to be tested because they feel it's an intrusion, even an invasion of their life, that they can get called at 3:00 in the morning. And where are you? And they feel it's an invasion, and it is an invasion. I feel differently about PEDs. I think that you stop the PEDs this way. I think that you take a test. You have to take the day you sign the contract. You should both be tested, and then they're on through the fight. You get sporadically, spontaneously, while you're training spontaneously. But the penalty should be high. 5-year automatic suspension the first time. Second time suspended for life, worldwide suspensions. I also think that no money should be distributed until the drug tests come back clean. I think if you fail your drug test, you have to forfeit your whole purse, not 10 or 20%. And I think that it should go down as a loss automatically to the guy who, not as a no contest if he would have won, but as an automatic loss. I just think that there's so many ways to curtail this, and they're not doing it.
I got a call. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Coach? It's Jerry from Beemore.
Jerry from Beemore, talk to me.
Turkey Al-Sheikh. I'm 50-50 on him. There's a lot of.
You got a question for Rick Glazer?
Well, what I wanted to say was, I'm 50-50 on Turk. I think he's doing some good, but I'm a little bit reluctant about what his motives are. He doesn't just involve himself in boxing. He's involved in all kinds of major sporting events to draw tourism to Saudi Arabia, and that's fine. UFC, WWE, golf tournaments, all kinds of stuff, and it's well and good. But I'm still 50-50 on him when it comes to boxing, simply because there's some players he's never going to be able to reach. I don't think. Maybe a Canelo, maybe a Tank Davis, and the fights that he's made, the big fights, it's well and good. But I'm going to use a wait and see attitude with him in an overall sense, Coach. To see it, because if you remember correctly, Al Heyman, when he first launched the PBC into the boxing, he was paying guys a lot of money.
Yeah, but you're talking, Jerry. You're talking about two different things completely. Here's why. Al Heyman came in with.
I get that.
Al Heyman came in. Came in with borrowed money. This guy is coming in with a country's money. They can just print more money if they want, and it's not going to cause inflation because it's being spent around the world, and it's a whole different thing compared to PBC.
I get that. Totally different. What I'm saying is when you can print more money, there's residual effect for that. And a lot of times it's not short term that you notice it, but it's longer term. Because if the Sheik turns a blind eye to boxing, and these fighters are used to get now these expanded purses, it's just like Heyman. Heyman was paying a lot of money. A lot of people said, hey, this can't last. And I realized the Sheik's pockets are deeper, but the fundamentals are still the same. Listen, I'm not bashing the guy. I'm grateful for the fights that he's putting on, but I'm not ready to just jump off the ship entirely because it looks like he's closing in possibly on a monopoly of boxing. And I just don't know if it'll be a good thing or a bad thing. That's all.
All right, Rick. All right, Jerry. Salute, fam.
Thank you for calling. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, man. So, like me personally, I just want to see the fights. I'm not really thinking too deep into it. The weekend fights. I don't care if Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy put the money up. Whatever. We get into fights. We was able to get Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk twice within a 6-month period. I think they fought the first time. What that was May last year, and they fought again in December. So that was like 6-7 month period. So and now we got Beterbiev and Bivol, and now we're getting them again. What is that? They fight next month, right?
Yep.
They fight next
February
month. So
22nd. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, we got 2 undisputed.
And actually, it would have been done quicker, but he got injured. So Beterbiev got injured, if you remember. So it would have been done quicker.
Yes, sir. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Smitty from Ohio. What's going on, Coach?
Everything good. Smitty from Ohio. Talk to me.
How you doing?
All right. So what's going on? So I got a question. So I'm looking at some of the moves that Turkey's making as far as buying the ring and stocks in the zone. And my question is, what is the end game you think it is for Turkey? Like, what is the end game? Because just looking on the outside, some of his moves look like he's trying to project some stuff for the future.
It's a great, Ohio. It's a great question. I don't have an answer to the question because I've never. All I did was introduce to the guy, and shook his hand, and in Vegas, August 10th. I didn't really sit down and talk to him, so I can't answer that question. But I will tell you this: I don't know what his end game is, but it looks like it's to control boxing and make the best fights possible for the fans for the least amount of money he can make them for. And I think by going from the $79.95 pay-per-view models to fights that are Oscar De La Hoya's fight card, which for most people would have been pay-per-view. Oscar and Turkey agreed that it would be on free DAZN. Not free, DAZN's not free, but subscription DAZN. And the other pay-per-views are $19.95 to $29.95. I don't think you could argue with that he's doing his best to keep the costs down while making the best fights. So I don't know what the end game is, but I will tell you that whatever it is, I like what I'm seeing. I like that he's diversifying by buying 13% of the zone. I like that he bought the Ring magazine. He had this big dinner, big gala on Saturday and Saturday night in England,
London.
in London, and I think he's going to really promote the Ring magazine well. I think that he's going to promote the zone well. I think that he's going to make the biggest fights and the best fights. He's not looking for tune-ups, like Devin Haney's looking for a tune-up fight to get back in action, maybe. He's not looking for tune-ups. He's looking for the best to fight the best. That's why Tank Davis wouldn't fit in what he's trying to do, because he would make Tank fight Shakur and William Zepeda and all those guys and Teofimo Lopez of the world, and he doesn't want to do that. So he's not going to fit in. And that's why PBC is not going to fit in. So there's where we stand.
All right, thanks.
All right, shout out to Smitty.
Thank you.
So, Rick, if let's say Saudi Arabia is behind what's going on in boxing today, in today's time, so is it safe to say that Turko Al-Sheikh is just to face the representative of the country? What they're doing?
No, because he's making the decisions. So he'd be like the CEO and the president, all wrapped up into one. President of a company and CEO of a company, and he's got a chief operating officer, somebody to run the business daily with him. And I would call the crown prince of Saudi Arabia. I would call him, or whatever they're called, maybe call the king. I would call that person the chairman. So that's what I looked at, the chairman of the board. So I think it's great for boxing. I know what people are saying. Well, what happens if he pulls out and the fighter's going to have to adjust. That's all there is to it. So right now it's a gravy train. We'll see what happens.
If something were to, let's say Turko Al-Sheikh something was to happen to Turko Al-Sheikh, what does that mean for boxing? Would there be someone to take his place?
It's a great question. I don't have no answer.
Okay.
No answer whatsoever. I wish I did.
Shout out to Boxing Police dropping out quarter of a dub. He said, question for Rick. I don't think this is a serious question. He said, why they like Tank, Young Thug, Busta Rhymes, Lil Yachty with nail polish, makeup, and purses. We need answers.
I don't know what that means. I have no idea.
Okay. All right. So Rick said he don't. I knew when you asked the question, he don't know what that means. So Rick don't know who Lil Yachty is. You get what I'm saying? I don't think that was a serious question, but I appreciate the support. Okay. So I love what he did with the Ring magazine. That to me, that ceremony was a lot for me. I'm gonna tell you why. Because ESPN has the ESPY Awards, and the ESPY Awards, they like to give out awards and pretty much recognize all of the athletes that that have did some tremendous things. Whether it's Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or whatever, just RP to Kobe, just stuff like that. I look at the Ring Magazine Awards, the Ring Awards, very similar to that, because I don't think no one was giving fighters awards that I can remember. Has that went on before in the past? I don't remember.
It did, but it went on as in a publication. It wasn't a dinner. There wasn't a night set aside. They were given Fighter of the Year and Fight of the Year, Knockout of the Year, and Trainer of the Year, all that stuff, Promoter of the Year. Yes, but they weren't having a ceremony. They weren't having a big dinner. They weren't having no gala affair.
Yeah. So, I like that, man. Did you think that's something that the fighters can appreciate?
Absolutely, it shows respect for boxing, for the boxing itself, for the fighters, the fans, everybody. It's a great thing. It's very, very costly, but somebody told me that thing cost like $1.5 million the other day.
Yeah, I would say
I would say every penny of it.
Okay, what about the critics over here in America who say, well, man, Turkey Al-Sheikh don't know what he doing. They losing money. I don't know how they know they losing money, but they
It's
losing.
not, the purpose right now is not to make money. It's to build boxing back up, the credibility of boxing, the awareness of boxing, and the awareness of the zone, and the awareness of Ring Magazine. And by doing all those things, you're building up boxing again. So that right now, it's like seed money. And he's going to lose money for a few years, like 3 to
Yeah,
4 years, maybe 3
and
more years.
that's any
But
business. Yeah.
he's looking to turn it around, and I think he can turn it around. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I know when I started my business, I lost money like the first 2 years, and then I didn't start seeing a profit from my copywriting business
And
until
then you met me.
the third year. The third, he said, hey, no, you getting the big bucks, man. I need no big bucks, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. I need to get the big bucks. So
Let's
do you?
talk about it. Let's talk about a subject that I laugh about. You ready?
What's that? Go
Because
ahead.
it's funny. How many people told you in the beginning that I was racist and not to pay any attention to me, and everything I told you I would do for you or with you, I've done, right or wrong?
No, that's true. You did that. How many people told me you was racist? I'm. You know what, Rick? I would probably say maybe 2 or 3, but it was people. It was people who didn't like me, but they did not want me to have you on the show, so they didn't have any credibility with me
hmm
because I think their motive was they didn't want to see me grow or take off or whatever, so they felt that, hey man, we don't want to see him see Rick Glazer on the show. So my thing is this here. I say, well, okay, if Rick is racist, give me an example or send me some receipts of some racism. And no one has sent anything or showed me anything yet to this day. And I said that I judge people according to how I judge people for myself. I don't make a decision whether I'm going to like a person or not like a person based on what someone else says. I have to see it. Like, you got to give me some receipts. Like, someone can tell me anything about anyone in the chat, and I'm like, man, okay, can you give me some examples of that? If you can't give me no examples, if your example is, well, he don't like Al Heyman. He don't like Al Heyman. I don't like what he said about Al. That's
I
not
don't
an
like
example.
I don't like Lou DiBella either.
You know what I mean?
The last
That's
time I
different.
looked, the last time I looked, he was white. Lou DiBella.
Lou DiBella, you don't like Lou DiBella or what's my name, Stephen Espinosa? What's up with Stephen Espinosa? You and him friends?
Nope, and I don't like Dan Raphael either. So, and he's a white man. So what the fuck, you know?
Yeah. Well, but it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the racial jacket that we're trying to put on you. Boxing Police said Turkey makes boxing feel like the '90s, but in 4K. Leisure says, so Rick, is the ring belt the official 5th belt? Well, the ring belt was the first belt from a historical standpoint. But go ahead.
I don't know what's going to happen. I think the BC and the WBO and
Hold on,
the
hold on.
Ring Magazine and the WB are going to be the strong ones over there, and I think the IBF's going to be the weak one. The fact that they took Canelo's belt away and they took Usak's belt away, I don't think that sat very well with Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of crazy how he did that. Carla, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's CJ from the 504, Coach.
CJ, talk to me.
How y'all doing, man? How you doing, Rick?
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Talk. We got you.
Rick, the question is, I know you've been in boxing a long time, and you claim to have reputable sources when it comes to pay-per-view buys. I don't know if anyone asked you this question yet, but why do you think there's such a gap between the numbers that you put out and the numbers that, say, someone like a Dan Raphael puts out when it comes to pay-per-view buys?
Because his fat motherfucking ass is getting fed by those boxing by those operatives. I mean, when he goes to the fights, they take him to dinner and all that stuff, and they suck up to him, and he sucks up to them, and he eats everything that they say. So if they told him the sky was falling in, he would write, and that's just how it works, you know. And my numbers are very credible. My numbers have come for years from since July of 2004, which was the Arturo Gatti Floyd Mayweather fight held in Atlantic City when Floyd won the WBC junior welterweight title from Arturo Gatti. And my guy is a Hollywood, well, LA based entertainment attorney. And he does sponsorships, he does TV contracts, he does brokers all kinds of deals. He's a lawyer for big companies. He used to be in the TV business as far as being an executive with one of the agencies, but one of the TV companies. But he is a lawyer by trade, so he decided to go into the law part rather than the corporate part. And in the meantime, his numbers are very accurate. Other promoters have told me, the promoters have put on the shows told me how accurate his numbers are. They're right on. So I don't know what that's just the way it is.
One more question before I get off. I appreciate that answer. Hey, as far as American boxing is concerned, I preface American. As far as American boxing is concerned, with the young crop of guys that we have coming up, do you think, with the model that Turkey has put in place and what he's trying to implement, do you think that what we will see in American boxing with the young crop of guys is the heyday of boxing, the guys fighting each other, people getting excited about fights again, capturing the mind of the American audience?
I think it's going to come down to that. Turkey's going to force these guys to fight. If they don't want to fight, he's not interested in the Tank Davises of the world. If you don't want to fight Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda and let's say Teofimo Lopez at 140, he's just going to say the hell with you and move on. That's all there is to it. He's not gonna pussyfoot around with stupid fights and fights that don't make. He's not gonna allow Tank to go, okay, well, you give me this fight and let me take this easy fight, and then I'll fight the next one tough. That isn't happening. So he's very serious about this. He's spending billions of dollars. He's not letting Tank tell him what to do. Trust me.
Shout out to CJ 504. Stand up. Salute, fam. Thank you, brother. We got a couple. Let's see. Shout out to Boston Police dropping a quarter of a dub. He say if they want money now, they do Wembley events only. Okay. Boston Police again, the quarter of a dub. He say Terrence needs to fight William Skull for the IBF belt to fight Canelo in September for Undisputed. What say you about that, Rick?
William Skull, you can't. It's hard to do a William Skull fight because nobody knows him, and even for Canelo, even for what's his name there, Crawford.
Canelo?
Yeah. For Canelo, can't do that fight. Nobody would buy it. So, I mean, listen, if Crawford or Canelo want to fight William Skull in May, that's great. But nobody needs William Skull. He doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
So you said something of the sort. If the rumors are true, from what we're hearing, that this fight will be going down in September. What do Crawford? Well, we know Canelo probably gonna have a fight in May. So who would Canelo fight in May, and who would be the financier of that fight?
I don't know. That I can't tell you. I don't know anything about May. All I know is what they were negotiating between Crawford and Canelo.
Okay, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Coach, what's going on? It's Rob from New York.
Rob from New York, talk to me.
Hey, Rick, just a quick question for you, brother. Do you feel that the way boxing is in the state of boxing in today's age, do you feel like the fighters have too much power in their hands? And the reason that I'm asking this is because obviously, in the past, a lot of the mega fights were able to be done because there was other power making these fights, such as the Don Kings, Top Rank, and obviously now with Golden Boy. But now it just seems like fighters can do whatever they want. I kind of hear what the coach is saying.
The two fighters that do that is Teofimo and what's his name there, Tank. The rest of them all listen to their promoters. They fight who they're supposed to fight, and everybody's happy. It's just those two guys that are screwing the whole industry up. That's all.
I mean, because I pretty much I'm on the fence of with Canelo doing the same thing, and pretty much coaches mentioned earlier today that the Benavidez and the Morrell fight is they're doing a horrible job in promoting it, and I totally disagree. The issue with that is that I'm a big Benavidez fan, but he ain't no star, and neither is Morrell. So at the end of the day, that fight is gonna flop because they're not stars. The way the business used to work before is you pretty much play the old dog. They used to be the star against the new upcoming guys, and that's how you carry the business. But unfortunately, that's how the business works anymore.
Well, you're sort of getting that in Benavidez. He's a little bit of a star, not much, and Morrell is the upcoming guy. So let's see what happens. I give him credit for that making that fight because it's pretty risky financially, that fight. So best regards to PBC on that effort.
All right. Well, thank you, Rick. That's my call, Coach.
All right, salute, fam.
Thank you.
All right, Rick. A shout out to Boston Police. He said Canelo maybe fights Jamel Charlo. Well, he ought to fight Jamel or Skull. Okay. Rick, so I want to thank you being here almost an hour for taking your time out. Let everybody know what makes you so credible in the sport of boxing.
I would say 34 years as my exclusive living. Number one, since January 1st of 91 would be one example. Mm-hmm. I'm a elector at the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota, which means I'm a voting member. I vote people in the Hall of Fame. I've been an expert witness in 38 professional boxing. Matter of fact, I took on my 39th case yesterday. Expert witness in 39 boxing-related lawsuits. And I'm in the New York State Boxing Hall of Fame for my business acclaim, not for I never fought. So obviously it's my business. And I've got 56 clients around the world that are mostly corporate, and everybody's doing business with me. So except a couple. So I guess I have a little credibility, and people pay me for my advice, pay me handsomely. So I think that gives me credibility, right?
Yeah, so when the likes of likes of Haymanites and other people who may not like you say, well, Rick don't know nothing about boxing. You don't do nothing in the business. What say you about that? Because from what it sounds like, you do a lot in the business, but those guys say you don't do nothing.
Well, let's put it this way. My wife's driving a brand new S500 Mercedes. She shops on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. We live very well, so I think that I think the results speak for themselves.
Okay, so Rick, I was gonna let you go, but this guy wanted to ask a question. Boston Police, he say, Rick, Floyd's real pay-per-view numbers?
Yeah, I've known them all along. Sure.
All right. And he said, Rick, what are Bud's keys to victory versus Canelo? I think he already answered that, but go ahead, say it again, Rick.
Yeah, I put it up on Twitter today.
What's your Twitter?
What are the keys? Twitter, it's at Real Rick Glazer 1. It's a verified account. I've got almost 14,000 followers.
I'll drop it.
The speed, the nimble feet, are big advantages. Canelo's short. He's only 5'7". Crawford's got a better motor. He's got stamina issues. Canelo. And I think between the left-handed, the speed, the distance and range that Crawford picks up on so easily, I think then Crawford switches, lefty to righty and back, flawlessly, seamlessly. I think he wins. That's all there is to it. He's got longer arms. He just has so many advantages. The two things he doesn't have is he's not physically as strong, but he's got better balance. So he'll offset some of that. And the punching power, okay, he's got punching power. Canelo, he hasn't knocked out anybody since in 4 years since he knocked out Platt.
Why do you
6 straight decisions.
I question. Me personally, I'm like, man, Canelo's a big dude. I don't know what Crawford be able to put up with the type of pressure
He's thick. He's not big.
Yeah.
He's not tall. He doesn't have long arms. He's thick.
No, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah. But what I mean is he's been fighting at 168 for a while, so I'm anxious to see this fight. I am. Once it officially gets announced, I'm definitely anxious to see it. I'm happy that both guys are getting paid. I'm hearing that they're splitting. What is it? What numbers have you heard for this fight for both fighters?
A lot. Let's put it that way to you.
I heard over 100 million.
Yes.
I heard over 100 million. All right. This brother right here, before I let you go, he said Tank versus Ryan Garcia real pay-per-view numbers. He already said that though.
Yeah, it's 1.235 million, I think it was off the top of my head. 1,235,000, I believe it was.
Can Tank do you see Ryan or Tank doing those type of numbers again? Minus fighting each other?
I don't know. It depends. Really. It depends on several factors. Who Ryan fights before that and wins in his comeback. It depends what time of year it is, but yeah, I think they could do over 1 million again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, you said but they would have to fight each other though.
Yes. Yes. They're not fighting anybody else and doing those kind of numbers.
What type of numbers you think Tank and Lamont Roach would do?
Not much. Not
you
much.
Say not much. What do you mean? Like 300,000, 400,000?
No, $180, $190. Well, probably won't break 200.
Yes, Lord have mercy. All right, Rick, man. I just dropped your link. Let everybody know how to get in contact with you if they want to reach out to you.
I'm at Real Rick Glazer 1 on Twitter. And follow me if you like. I answer boxing questions on Twitter every day. And it's a verified account. There's a lot of fake Rick Glazer accounts out there, but this one has about 13,800 followers. So there you go.
All right, but Rick, man, I really appreciate you taking the time out to come over here, fam.
And I appreciate it as much as you having me on. You're a gentleman. Your questions are always good. You've got a good sense of humor, and that's always very important. You don't take yourself too seriously, and that's always important too.
All right, but thanks, Rick. I really appreciate you, man. Let's give Rick Glazer a round of applause. Tell your wife I said hi.
Thank you. I will do.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Rick Glazer has left the building. Rick Glazer has left the building.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.